Welcome to Please Me, the podcast bringing you bold conversations and big clit energy. Sí, Please Me ahora tiene subtítulos en español. And welcome to my Friday bonus episode series. I'm Eve, your host, on a journey from trauma to sexual liberation. Let's reclaim pleasure and close the orgasm gap, one empowering conversation at a time. Today, Anthony Weaver from About That Wallet podcast joins me again as we continue sharing our favorite highlights from Season 5 of Please Me. If you missed Part 1, be sure to listen to that episode first, then come back and dive into Part 2 right here. Did you know that podcasts rely on listener support to keep bringing you the content you love? For the best way to support the show, join me on Patreon for ad-free listening, early releases, bonus episodes, and exclusive content. Or go to Substack and subscribe to my newsletter for more Please Me related news. Got a burning question or want a free 10-minute consultation with me? Download the OWL app and give me a call. Check the show notes for my code and claim your free 10-minute consultation today. Please Me is for mature audiences. Sit back, relax, and surrender to the pleasure of Please Me.
To get you to think about your partner, to get you to think about communication. And to my day-to-day, I'm thinking about even just communicating on a basic level at work of, hey, I know you asked me this, but did you really mean this? Or what was your expectations with this when you asked that question? So it gets me to question more before doing a task. And great show, great setup.
ASN Lifestyle Magazine is your go-to source for sex-positive, sophisticated content covering everything from the swinger lifestyle and adult entertainment to intimacy, wellness, and more. You can read every digital issue for free, and subscribers get access to exclusive content. See the show notes for the link to subscribe and check out their Instagram. I'm excited to share that I now have a monthly column in ASN called Big Clit Energy, a Please Me series. Don't miss it and subscribe today.
Subtle results, still you, but with fewer lines. Botox Cosmetic, out of botulinum toxin A, is a prescription medicine used to temporarily make moderate to severe frown lines, crow's feet, and forehead lines look better in adults.
Effects of Botox Cosmetic may spread hours to weeks after injection, causing serious symptoms. Alert your doctor right away as difficulty swallowing, speaking, breathing, eye problems, or muscle weakness may be a sign of a life-threatening condition. Patients with these conditions before injection are at highest risk. Don't receive Botox Cosmetic if you have a skin infection. Side effects may include allergic reactions, injection site pain, headache, eyebrow and eyelid drooping, and eyelid swelling. Allergic reactions can include rash, welts, asthma symptoms, and dizziness. Tell your doctor about medical history, muscle or nerve conditions including ALS or Lou Gehrig's disease, myasthenia gravis, or Lambert-Eaton syndrome, and medications, including botulinum toxins, as these may increase the risk of serious side effects. For full safety information, visit BotoxCosmetic.com or call 877-351-0300.
See for yourself at BotoxCosmetic.com.
You don't technically need this car. You say that out loud to yourself. You say, I have no space. You say, I'm just looking. Then you click. Then you zoom in on photo number 87 and whisper, oh no. Then you text a friend, the one who always enables you. You say to yourself, this is the last one, knowing it is not. You don't need this car. But maybe, just maybe, this car needs you. Bring a trailer. It's never just a car.
Getting ready to step into your career era? Set yourself apart with Adobe Creative Cloud Pro for students. Hone your skills with apps like Photoshop, Illustrator, Premiere Pro, and more, powered with the latest in creative AI. Students save over 55% so you can build a portfolio you're proud of. Launch your future with Adobe Creative Cloud Pro for students. Visit adobe.com/students to learn more.
Choice Hotels get you more for your money so you can maximize any road trip. Like with the road trippers we see here in their natural habitat, the breakfast area at a Comfort Inn. Here's a dad teaching his son how to make waffles, fluffy golden waffles. There's a mom making sure her daughter eats some fruit to avoid the I'm hungry from the back seat. And a sibling standoff over the last muffin. This is the cycle of vacation maximizationing in all its glory. Check into more. Book direct at choicehotels.com.
Halliday presents, in the red corner, the undisputed, undefeated Weed Whacker Guy. Champion of hurling grass and pollen everywhere. And in the blue corner, the challenger, extra strength Halliday. Eye drops that work all day to prevent the release of histamines that cause itchy allergy eyes. And the winner by knockout is Saturday. Saturday, bring it on.
And I want to talk about another 2-part episode that I did with the porn nerds. Remember them?
Oh,
Kells
yes.
and Tess. So we talked a little bit about Kobe Fox, and he was an OnlyFans creator. And then I want to go and talk a little bit about Kells and Tess, which I thought their episode was really fun. And they had a different perspective on porn. And what did you think of that episode?
One of the things that about that episode, I did enjoy, I guess you could say, like the comfortability of having the porn industry. It's like to get into it. I thought that was actually interesting. So.
Yeah, the way that they thought about, and a lot of times people watch porn like late at night when no one's in the room with that, like it's something that people are ashamed of, right? And it really shouldn't be something shameful. Watching sex is entertainment. If that's the place that you're gaining information in terms of sex, maybe not the best place. We talked about that a lot, and like why porn is not necessarily the best place to learn about sex education.
Yes.
But if that is where you're gaining information, there are certain things that you can tease out and learn, and especially ideas, right? Ideas about things that you want to try. Maybe kinks that you'd never heard about, but turn you on. And so it's a great place to start when you're having a conversation with a partner, and you can show them like a porn scene or a video that you are watching and say, hey, have any interest in this? Is this something that you might be interested in trying? Or what porn video would you like to show me? And it can really open up a conversation in a couple. So I thought that was a really great take on porn.
Was that the one, to make sure I remember correctly, because I was, flying through these. Was this the one where they were talking about you don't watch Fast and the Furious on how to drift your car?
Yes.
Okay, perfect. Yes. Then, yes, this one. Yes. Okay. Bringing back memories. So with that one, I did enjoy that they talked about that, because one of the things in relationships, a lot of people are embarrassed when talking about what type of porn they actually do enjoy watching. So much so that they would rather watch it in secret when you're not there, or if you're at the grocery store or whatever, they up there rubbing themselves down to whatever thing that they enjoy. Which brings back to the other episode that you did with the sex worker, because you did 2 of them with a sex worker. I'm sorry. But one of them... Yes. So one of them was talking about how, Pepper Cat. So Pepper Cat was talking about how with the different fantasies that guys would come to her about their fantasies, that they wouldn't talk to their spouses or what have you. And that is very interesting. I like how your show is already tied together. Like this whole season was fires. Magnificently put together. So
thank you. Really thank you. Yes, Pepper Cat. Yes, I know what you're talking about. She was talking about how, go ahead. I'm sorry. I just totally interrupted you. I totally interrupted you.
She was talking about how some of the guys were okay just telling her the dark secrets, and like what she just say yes to, that they were just afraid to even talk to their spouses about. And I just thought that was fascinating, that why wouldn't they feel comfortable with the person that they were with to talk about the things that they really enjoy if they really do love them? Either it could be from embarrassment or what have you. I don't know, but I think that's something that's a little deeper there. What do you think?
Yes, I do too. And communication is such an important part of relationships. And so many relationships don't do it well, right? And Pepper Cat was talking about how a lot of her clients were in relationships, maybe even married, and came to her to create fantasies that they couldn't create in their own relationships because maybe they had never talked about it with their partner, or maybe their partner wasn't interested. And this was still something that interested them. And so they entrusted a sex worker to help them to fulfill these needs, these desires, these fantasies that people have. And so I think that is one of the key reasons why sex workers are so important in our world, because they do fill that role. And they also fill the role, and she also talked a lot about male loneliness.
Yes.
And how it's an epidemic, right? And even now with technology, we can connect to each other so much easier, but at the same time, we're so engulfed in our technology sometimes that it takes us away from that like personal one-on-one connection. And if you already are an introvert, and if you already are somebody that is shy around talking to other people, that might make it even that much harder. And so they do fill this role of helping people to communicate with someone else, have a relationship in some way with someone else, and feel that attention and that love that they don't have maybe on their own or in their relationships.
Yeah. And I have to say that when I went on her Instagram page, she actually sells her bathwater. I was like, people are just buying anything. Like, what?
She started off selling her underwear.
What?
That was the first thing that she did when she was still working as a producer for a television show or whatever it was. I think it was the news. And she was selling her underwear on the side. And that became so lucrative that she decided to stop being a producer of the news channel or whatever that she was working on and start doing sex work full time. And that is what she does now. And yeah, absolutely. People will pay for a lot of different crazy things. And that reminds me of a clip that you sent me, but we're not going to get into that right now.
Right.
That you sent me about another sex worker. I don't know if she was a porn star, but another sex worker. And I am going to have her on season 6. We've
Let's
already been in
go.
contact. So yeah, someone that you actually connected me to.
Because what it brought me up to, because you started talking about technology, and I did
Yes.
not know that this existed with Dr. Elliot Justin. Dr. Elliot
Yes.
Justin.
The technology that he created.
Yeah, it's called Firm Tech. And I was like, Firm Tech, such a clever name. Because I was like, I can actually talk about my erections on the cell phone and you can track me while I'm sleeping? Tell me more, sir.
Yes, that was such a fascinating episode,
Yeah.
and something that I find very useful for my physical therapy practice. Firm Tech is it's a cock ring basically, but it has a way of measuring your erections throughout the day or night, depending on when you have it on. But one of the things that he recommends is wearing it at night and sleeping with it on throughout the night so that you can see how many nocturnal erections you have while you're sleeping. And this can indicate whether you are at a higher risk of a heart attack or stroke within the next year. It correlates like that. And it was so interesting. And why wouldn't we want to know this information? Whether you have a penis or you love someone who has a penis, right? You want to know this information. So I thought it was super interesting technology. And how the way that I thought about using it for my practice was, say I have a patient that comes to see me for erectile dysfunction, I can have them get a Firm Tech ring and I can monitor their erections at the beginning of our treatment and see how many nocturnal erections they have at the beginning of our treatments. And then at the end of all of the series of treatments so that we can see progression, right? We can see how the blood flow has changed, how the erections have increased. So I thought that it was a super useful tool that could be used for diagnostic purposes too.
Definitely. And I was even looking at the website. I was like, maybe I should just have it just for my awareness. Like,
yes, I think so. I think that a lot, and he did say that a lot of people that buy the Firm Tech ring are women because they're buying it for their husbands or their partners because they want to make sure that they're healthy. And if this is something that can diagnose or can predict whether you're going to have a heart attack within the next year or not, this is something that people should want to know about. And he said it's much more important than how many steps you take in a day or how fast your heart goes. Whatever, when you're running, yes, of course you're running, your heart's going to elevate. We all know that, right? So this is information that I think data that is super useful.
Yeah. And having that understanding is one thing about yourself, and which goes back to, we can talk about the trauma piece of it, because coming from an abusive relationship, you can actually think about it like how you mentioned earlier, is that how do you get in touch with yourself? And when you brought that up, it reminded me of the episode that you did with Kimberly Dorsey. And she was talking about from being adopted and growing up in that aspect of really finding your sense of self and who are you at your core and what does love really feel like? Because to one feel as though, hey, my parents didn't want me. If my parents didn't want me, who else would love me and want me for who I am? And I thought that was really a deep, touching episode that you did with Kimberly.
Yes, I thought she was Kimberly Dorsey. I thought she was an amazing guest as well. And she really inspires people to take control of their health. And she helps them in that arena. She's a coach, a fitness and health coach. And her story was powerful because, yes, absolutely. If you're adopted and you feel unloved from the very beginning, how can you build a relationship on that foundation? You really have to learn self-love. And she talks about her journey finding self-love and to where she is now, which I thought was a very cool episode as well. Yeah, let's see. Let me see what else I want to ask you.
Okay.
Oh, there's just so many questions. Did you feel inspired by any of the episodes?
Actually, every episode gave me inspiration, to be honest, because one of the things that it inspired me to question, am I doing everything I can to be healthy? Am I actually healthy in the sexual aspect? And what else can I do? As I'm looking through my fridge and I'm going through my margarita mix, is there something that I should cut back on as I'm getting older? And so really focus on my health. And that's one of the things that your show has inspired me. So I really can't pick one because it's the way how you lined everything up is like perfect because it gets you to think politics, it gets you to think health, it gets you to think about your partner, to get you to think about communication. And to my day to day, I'm thinking about even just communicating on the basic level at work of, hey, I know you asked me this, but did you really mean this? Or what was your expectations with this when you asked that question? So it gets me to question more before doing a task. And great show, great setup.
Thank you. Thank you. That's such a nice answer. I am happy that every episode inspires you because I feel like every episode definitely inspires me. Each story that I get to speak to a guest and learn their story is always really inspirational and has taught me so much. It's been such a healing journey for me that was unanticipated really when I started the whole thing. I just wanted to talk about my business and sexual health and it has really just morphed into something much bigger. And yes, absolutely. We cover so many different aspects of health. Yes, we talk about sexual health, but of course, sexual health is determined by our nutritional health and our mental health and our psychological health and our spiritual health. And so we really do cover a lot of different arenas in terms of health and how that ties into sexuality. So I appreciate you saying that.
Yeah.
I have a trick question.
Okay.
Can you guess what episode I blocked out after I recorded it because of my own personal trauma response?
You blocked out. Good question. I was thinking about maybe an STI episode.
No, but there was one about the STI testing, which was really interesting. So it wasn't that one.
Then it maybe the MILF.
No,
Ooh,
she was
the one right
interesting
before it.
too. She was a reality star and she was on MILF Manor. That was a really
Okay.
interesting episode. No, I'm gonna give you a hint.
Okay.
It was a therapist. She was a therapist.
Therapist. I'm really leaning on to this one. How to talk to your partner about sexual trauma.
Bingo. Bingo. And you know what's so funny? Because my editor reached out to me and said, okay, it's time to edit the episode with Dr. Laurel Roberts-Meese. And I said to her, I said, I don't even remember recording that episode. What's it about? And anyway, she edited it. And normally what she does is she'll edit it and then I'll listen to it and I'll give her corrections, anything that I want to correct. And as I was listening to that episode, I realized that I had blocked out the entire episode. I did not remember even having the conversation with her because it triggered me and my trauma so much that I just completely forgot about it. And that's called dissociation. And so I had that trauma response after recording that episode. And when I reached out to her to let her know that the episode was being released, I told her that I had that experience, and she was like so grateful that I shared that with her. And yeah, it was very triggering for me, but it also was my most proud episode, or the episode that I'm most proud of, because anytime we dive deep into sexual trauma, which is my history, and we help people to understand that whole arena better, it's something that I'm really proud to put out into the world, because I know that for me, I need to hear it, and I know a lot of other people need to hear it too.
Definitely. And sorry you went through that, but I'm glad that you're able to still go through it, but comfortable enough to share it so that others can move forward with it. And I know it sounds like I repeated what she said, audience, but I'm not trying to mansplain anything. It's just that it's good to hear back what you just said sometimes to really resonate the conversation. Don't come at me in the comments.
I don't remember what I said in the comments, but I know that you commented on all of the episodes, which I thought was really a great way to take notes, right? So that you could remember what it was about. And also thank you for leaving all those comments. And really, the more people comment on the episodes, I guess the more attention they will get and the more plays they'll get and the more like the broader audience they'll be shown to. So thank you for commenting, and everyone out there listening, please leave comments when you listen to an episode. If there's something that you want to tell me or you want to comment about, they're really helpful and to get feedback from me. And also they're just great for the podcast algorithm so that more people can get to hear this content. So thanks again for doing that.
Oh yeah, no problem. I'm podcast to the podcast, so we understand the SEO process. We understand how to get ourselves out there.
Yes.
Totally understand. Glad to help.
Yes, absolutely. I have a question about the episode about the swinger versus the freak offs. Do you remember that episode?
Yes. And the first thing it was like, this is not a Diddy party.
Exactly. So did you believe when you were listening to television and radio that was covering the P. Diddy trial, Sean P. Diddy Combs, did you believe that he was a swinger when you heard initially about the trial?
No, I did not know he was a swinger. Like, honestly, I try to keep out of I try not to keep up with celebrity news because I'm like, their stuff is so exaggerated. But yeah, I did not know he was actually part of the swinger community.
So that's what the news was saying, that he was part of the swinger community and he had these quote unquote freak off parties. And as the information was coming out about these alleged freak offs, more and more information was showing that they had nothing to do with swinger parties. They were completely opposite of one another. So more and more information was coming out about the trial and showing that there was drugs involved. He was using coercion. He was using his celebrity to make people do things that they didn't want to do. There was just a lot of different aspects to the parties that I really wanted to tease out and show why an ethically non-monogamous or swinger party is not the same as a P. Diddy freak off. And so I thought that episode with Lexi Silver was really interesting because she is an expert in the swinger community. And she really was able to break it down and explain why P. Diddy parties are not the same as swinger parties. Did you find that interesting?
Yeah, especially breaking down the differences between the swinger and the freak off. And most likely, I think it was what the intent, if I'm not mistaken, on whether or not this was consensual or this is actually, how do you say it? The swinger part had more boundaries and respecting boundaries, because that's where I learned a lot about from your show was about actually having those discussions. These rooms are set up this way. If you want to go in to be a voyeur, you can, but only if they allow it to. Or, hey, this is only for this type of activity in this particular room. And that if there's a person that walks around and checks all the rooms to make sure that there isn't any foul play going on, almost like the bouncers of the room, I guess you would say.
Exactly.
And I appreciate that y'all went into detail about that because I'd never been to one. So I don't know. Maybe I'm getting older. It might be time for me to go check it out. It might be on my bucket list. I don't know.
Okay. All right. Putting another thing on that bucket list. I like that. And why not? Trying something different. You might find it really exciting. Yeah, absolutely. Boundaries are so important and consent is so important. And those things were absolutely lacking in the freak offs. And so I'm not going to go into all the details because obviously you can go back and listen to the episode, but that was a really interesting, I thought, episode with Lexi Silver, who's actually right here. She's been on the show 3 times and 2 other seasons, and now this season, and she is an expert in the swinger community. Shout out to Lexi. Yes, you have a question?
Yeah. So how do you actually get on the wall?
Actually, I don't have a system. I just bought a bunch of them in the past, and I haven't gotten any since, I think these were all from like season 3, maybe. I haven't gotten any from season 4 or 5. So I know I do definitely need to upgrade my pictures, don't I?
No, it's fantastic. It's almost who gets to get on the wall today, or how do you get your picture up there? Because I want to put my name on here.
Okay. You want to be on my wall. All right. I'm going to definitely keep that in consideration.
Just let me know what I got to do.
Oh, okay. All right. I'm gonna create a list of things you got to do now. You better watch out.
Oh, well, yeah, we got to communicate better. Okay.
I'll communicate. Believe me. So now I want to get into our role play.
To you, my darling.
No, to you.
The Roses were living the dream.
More champagne for me, please.
Until it all came crashing down.
He got fired. Fired?
From the director of Meet the Parents.
You're a failure. Women don't like that.
If you need a shoulder or an inner thigh to lean on.
On August 29th.
I just want the house.
We want everything.
Wow. Stop.
Yes, go!
And see The Roses.
These people.
The Roses. Rated R. Under 17, not admitted without parent. In theaters everywhere, August 29th.
This episode is brought to you by Progressive Commercial Insurance. Business owners, meet Progressive Insurance. They make it easy to get discounts on commercial auto insurance and find coverages to grow with your business. Quote in as little as 6 minutes at progressivecommercial.com. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company. Coverage provided and serviced by affiliated and third-party insurers. Discounts and coverage selections not available in all states or situations.
Honey Bunches of Oats es la forma perfecta de empezar el día con tu familia. Con hojuelas crujientes y miel de verdad que a los niños les encanta. Además, deliciosos trozos de granola, nueces y fruta que todos van a disfrutar. Honey Bunches of Oats es para todos. Toca el banner para saber más.
I definitely want to save some time for that because the role play, I think, is such a fun aspect of this season. I continued it from last season because I just thought it was such a great way to model conversations about sex and sexuality. And so I do a role play at the end of every episode. And first of all, before we jump into the role play, tell me what you think about the role play segment of my show. It's something completely different. I don't think I've ever heard any other podcast do a role play. What do you think about it?
First off, I have to say I love it. I will enjoy that. One, that you prepare everybody for it, especially if they're a new listener. I think that's one thing I'm gonna have to do a takeaway from my show is because I do a final 4 questions at the end of my show, and I don't prep anybody for it. I'm like, hey, you ready for the final 4? Cool, let's go. I don't say, hey, these are the final 4 questions that I ask everybody who's been on the show. So here we go. I like that you preface that your audience for that.
Yeah, definitely. I like to just explain what I'm trying to do, which is really model conversations about sex and sexual health. And a lot of times people are not having these conversations. So when you model a conversation, just like Hanny Cheng, when I was having that conversation with her during the role play, she gave me some verbiage that I could take away and use in my own conversation. And so when you're modeling something, I think it's really helpful for other people to hear and to take away from that experience. So we decided that we were going to be a couple that was dating. And we were at the beginnings of our relationship, but we've established that we want to move on to the next level of our relationship. And so we're going to be asking questions to one another about what sorts of things we are important to us, right? And you have red flags when you're thinking about finances. I have red flags when I'm thinking about sensuality and physical touch, love languages, etc. So we're going to like riff off of that. So does that sound good?
That sounds perfect.
Okay, here we go. And action.
Hey, how you doing?
I'm good. I'm excited to be out to dinner with you tonight.
Oh man, yeah, the night has been beautiful. You're looking great today.
Aw, thank you so much. That's so sweet. I do love words of affirmation.
Oh. And I enjoy physical touch, so thank you for the hug.
Oh, yes, me too. Of course, you know that.
So I do have a couple questions that I'd like to see where your mind is at as we getting closer and just trying to take this to the next level. Is that okay?
Of course, I love to communicate, so I'm all for all of the questions. Bring them on.
Alrighty. I like to do a lot of hypotheticals because it just helps me feel comfortable with you and for myself. If you were to win $10,000, what would you do with it?
Okay. Oh man, boy, do I wish this would happen. I would pay off my debt because you know that I have a product that I've been developing, and I started developing it during COVID. And so the money that I had to invest in it was credit card money. And so I have maxed out 2 of my credit cards because of that product. And I would first pay that debt off immediately. That would be the first thing that I do. Now, the rest of it, I would probably invest most of it because I feel like something like getting money out of the blue, you should really take it and do something important with it and not just randomly spend it on silly things that you don't necessarily need or whatever. And there's really nothing in my life right now that I feel like I really need to do. I don't need to go on a big vacation or anything like that. So I would probably invest the rest of the money that didn't go into paying off my credit cards.
I actually do that answer. It sounds like you already got a lot of things planned out for when you get lump sums of money. Sounds pretty cool. Do you have a question for me?
Yes, I do. So I have a question about just sex in general. How often do you like to have sex?
If I could, about at least once every 48 hours.
Okay. Every other day?
Just about every other day. Yeah, that sounds good.
Okay, great. Okay, that's a good answer. And what do you think about masturbation? Do you masturbate on a regular basis?
Only masturbate because I have to.
Okay.
So. And that is the best answer that I'm going to give. Right.
Okay. It's honest, right?
Yes.
Would it bother you if I masturbated even though we still had a physical relationship? Would that bother you that I masturbated solo play?
Not at all, because I really think that is a great opportunity to still know yourself, to know what you like and really get a touch of who you are and really have the power. Because giving up that power is one thing I don't want you to do, especially going forward and actually hearing about all the things that you've been through. Having that power and understanding it is such a great thing. And I continue on to cherish that. So continue to have that.
That's a great answer. Now it's your turn to ask a question.
Okay. So I noticed you mentioned that you'd say you're not really big on vacations, but I know that you love the beach. So how often would you want to go to the beach?
Oh, wow. I love to go to the beach. I love to go to a specific beach. And I can only go to that beach when I am without my kids. So it really, if it were up to me, I would probably go to the beach every week, but I really probably go once a month. And so I do love to go to the beach once a month. But I do love vacations. I just happen to live in Florida, so I never really feel, since I've been living here, I've been here for about 8 years. I never really feel like the desperate desire to like go on vacation since I've been living here, because I can just go on vacation whenever I have free time. I feel like this is where people come to go on vacation. So I never feel like the need to go take a trip. But I do love to travel. I've traveled all around the world. I've been to South America. I've been to Central America. I've been to Europe. I love to travel. And there's so many different places on my bucket list. It takes money. And podcasting can be an expensive thing to do. So right now I'm really focusing on building my business. But eventually, when I have more disposable income, I will definitely want to be taking trips, because there are definitely places on my bucket list that I want to visit.
Okay. So would you rather have a tall guy with no money or a short king with a lot of money?
That is such a funny question. And I would have to quantify that, but by like how short? I'm 5'2", so most people are taller than me.
Okay,
I've never
so like
dated
5'4".
I've never dated a man that was shorter than me.
Okay.
So
Well, 5'4" guy and a
5'4".
6'2" tall guy.
Let's base it on my previous experience, right? So I was married to a tall man who was not the best fit for me. And I think that obviously looks are important, and you have to be attracted to the person, because otherwise, how are you going to move forward, right? I think that is important, but really what's more important is the connection that you share with the person, and whether that connection continues to grow over time. And obviously that has a lot to do with how much you respect the person and how you vibe with them. So I would definitely probably choose the short guy with the right vibes.
Okay.
This time around, I've learned my lesson.
I think I'll cut everybody off. Oh, you're over 6 foot. Cut. You not trying it. I like that. So then it comes up to one of my other questions is, are you willing to move and live in another country?
I've lived in another country before, and I would absolutely live in another country again. Obviously, there would be a lot of logistics involved in figuring that out, but I would do it in a heartbeat. I feel like traveling and living in another country opens your eyes to so many things, and you just get a different perspective on life. And I feel like that really changed me. And I feel like everybody should do it at least once in their life. They should move somewhere else, even if it's out of state, or if you can, out of the country, to really just broaden your mind. It's such a beautiful experience. So absolutely, I would do it in a heartbeat.
Nice. I like that.
Oh, wait a minute. We're going on and on. I think he really wants to date me. I don't know about you guys listening out there, but he's asking me so many questions, and this is supposed to be a role play. So I'm going to end scene.
I'm going to take a drink to that one.
He really had a lot of questions for me. I think that he was really super prepared. I think that was fun, though. Definitely, Anthony. Thank you so much for playing along.
Yes, this was great. Thank you for that.
And
I'm going to incorporate this.
Yeah, yes. We'll have to continue this conversation off the air. Okay. Anyway, I want to make sure that my listeners can find you. Where can we find you, Anthony?
You can find me at aboutthatwallet.com. That's where I have the podcast, I have blog, and also I do showcase, even if you just want to be a guest on my show, I have so many different avenues and people that I want to showcase. And if you feel as though you want to share your money story, by all means, hit me up, let me know. And I would like to actually hear from you. This is one of the places that you actually have a safe space. And a lot of times I am a lot of people's first podcast that they ever been on. So trust me, you're in good hands.
Okay, good to know. I need to get on your show. I don't know what we would talk about, but hey, we figured it out for mine.
Yes.
We can definitely figure it out. Yeah. I did get to listen to a couple of your episodes, and they were phenomenal, great information. So I highly recommend his show. So check that out, About That Wallet. You can reach me at pleaseme.online. And Make sure that if you love this episode, you copy and paste and send it to a friend right now. I think that this was a really fun compilation of different episodes from the season. And we talked a lot about a lot of different ones, but we didn't cover so many. And there were so many of them. It's impossible to get to all of them in one episode. But this was really a lot of fun. So make sure that you share this episode if you liked it as much as I liked recording it. And leave a review. That's how podcasts grow. If you'd like to work with me, I'd be happy to work with you. So you could reach out to me on pleaseme.online in the contact section, send me an email, and I will always respond. Join my newsletter on Substack, and you can also join ASN Magazine. It's a free publication, and I do a column there called Big Clit Energy, a Please Me series, if you want to follow more information about my show. So absolutely reach out. And again, Anthony, thank you so much for closing out this season with me. This has been such a fun season. Thank you for being here tonight.
It's been an honor. Thank you.
Until next time, for ad-free listening, exclusive bonus episodes, Eve's library of archived webinars, and early access to new releases of Please Me, become a monthly supporter on Patreon. Simply open the Patreon app on your phone, search for Please Me, and subscribe today for premium content and more. Cheers to finding your pleasure and Big Clit Energy.